Spin and Go. Ett spin och du kan vinna upp till $30,000 på 5 minuters pokerspel. Bara på PokerStars.
Welcome back. Already time now for game number 2 of Ninjas in Pajamas taking on the Power Rangers. No rest for the wicked here. As NiP better be ready. We're right into it.
Oh, yeah, the admins. Everyone ready? Let's go. Let's get this baby going. And NiP is definitely one of those teams that likes the momentum. They remind me of EG a little bit on that front. EG is always one of those teams you see on lands. They're just like, we lost. Let's get into this next draft right away. We know what we messed up. We want to fix it. Let's do this thing, and you have other teams that want that extended break so they can really talk about it, really theory craft it out, and NiP is definitely one that is eager to hop back in.
Yeah, some teams don't even want a 5-minute break between games or something. Yeah. Some are like, if 30-second break, great. Let's go. So that's pretty much what's happened just here. NiP and PR going to get things underway. We're in the draft here. It's NiP on the dire side, and quite a different opening from them. For PR, they had the first pick, went for the Shadow Friend, something they picked up much later in the draft in game 1, but they're saying, QW, man, we want you on that hero again, and there's no way you're getting that hero if we don't pick it in the first stage. So
yeah, absolutely. Spin Lords banned out once more here. The Axe and the Troll. Ancient Apparition, the third ban from Ninjas in Pajamas, one that I was going to bring up, given the nature of this heavy healing strat. Seems pretty straightforward what they have in mind here. Maybe a little team fight, maybe a little grouping up, moving into those towers nice and early. And old Frosty would have certainly worked well there.
I wonder if they're going back for what we saw them do. Are they in game 2 against in their first round against VP? They went for this all-in push strat with a Chen Witch Doctor. They pulled out the Dragon Knight even, and just looked to take a lot of towers. I don't know if PR would have caught that game or seen that draft, but that to me, when I see this Chen Witch Doctor, is what I think NiP have in mind for game 2.
Yeah, would certainly agree with that. Who else works well? A Corveno can work pretty well in one of those pushing strats. If you're going to build it around
Luna or something, you want maybe an aura-based carry.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me see what other heroes they had. I'll quickly check.
I guess the question in my head is, who do you put in the off lane? And look at that, Power Rangers with the right idea. They ban out the Luna 4th.
They had a clockwork that game, so it actually was they had 4 pushing heroes, and then you want that one initiator, because it's if you try and defend a tower, you have a clockwork who can initiate a fight. And
well, it looks like PR are on the pulse, man. They either saw that game or at least are privy to this kind of an opener. Because
I think it was the Luna they had in that last game.
Yeah. Smart bans coming out. Now NiP thinking hard about this 3rd or 4th ban of their own, rather. Trying to read what the Power Rangers may pick to stop their push.
Yeah, it was a Chen, Witch Doctor, Luna, Clockwork, Dragon Knight. So PR, they caught that game. They just instantly ban out some of those heroes from it. And the Luna is especially important. I think the DK is the one hero where it's like, well, if they want DK end of the day, DK is a pretty bad hero. That hero is bottom... Bottom 10 to 15% of Dota 2 heroes. Not to say he's not viable. I think
bottom
in those
10 to 15. That feels pretty fair. He had at least one good game at DSC at the main event. I remember walking onto the main stage and seeing a tier 3 getting knocked down at 14 minutes with a Dragon Knight in the front lines.
That's the one reason you'd ever pick a Dragon Knight. You'd never run him as a carry. You'd never run him and try have a game go beyond 30 minutes, because the hero does nothing except work in cheesy push strats. That to me, it's where in those strats, obviously he's great, but as far as his general viability in the majority of games, it's non-existent.
Ooh, so it looks like NiP may switch this up and potentially to a Dro Visage.
I can't fit the Visage though. They've got their 2 supports.
You're right.
Mid Visage.
I was just running that in my head. Is there any chance at a core Visage here?
Drow's the Luna replacement, I think.
Okay.
It gives everyone the aura. You've got the damage aura for your whole team, assuming you get ranged heroes, which they're going to have, I think, 4 of. Well, DK becoming ranged, obviously, in ulti form.
Right.
I think it's going to be a Dragon Knight 4th pick if NiP are going to keep going for that strat. The Dro Ranger, though, is just a very good pushing carry because of the damage output. The problem with this hero is always keeping her alive and keeping enemies away from her, which with the Chen Witch Doctor, you do pretty well.
Yeah, so now at the Clockwork span, though, how do they handle the offlane? I mean, I guess they could try to aggro try here if they really wanted to get aggressive. That feels very risky, though.
Yeah, I think they can just get some other kind of initiator-type hero, be it a Tide Hunter.
Like a Centaur.
Centaur's quite
pretty good with a Dro.
Centaur's very good. I'm trying to think other options.
They could do a core Rasta.
They could
Rasta mid.
They could pull out the Brood, and then it's less of a 5-man push, and Brood split pushing one lane while the other 4 heroes take towers elsewhere if they did want to
that could work.
Go for the Brood, but we'll have to wait and see. It's kind of unclear whether this would be a good Brood game until you see another pick from PR or 2. Depending what their other support is. If they get a good laning support, then Brood doesn't become quite as potent.
So who are the ideal? Okay.
I get the Brood.
Yeah. Probably somewhat of a deny pick here. Trying to think if this is something that is in the comfort zone of Power Rangers.
I can't seen Cheshire Cat Brood.
Yeah, I can't recall a single game where he's played it in competitive that I've seen at least. So interesting. I mean, I'm sure it's something that he's fairly comfortable on. Probably been practicing in pubs, or else they wouldn't have picked it. But
good versus the 5-man push strats because they have to keep going back to defend that lane. And guess what? NiP Witch Doctor Joe Ranger not the best at dealing with a Brood lane. Not the worst as well. I've seen like weaker, like having like an AA as a support would be even worse. And Joe Ranger, at least you have some right-click damage. They're just going to have Sentry Wards, and anytime they see Brood, just right-click away. Don't let her build up too much of a Spiderling army. And NiP pretty co-op from it. They don't. I feel like NiP have looked at this and said that push strat we wanted to go for is no longer going to work. The Brood is going to cause us problems. You've banned out the Luna, the Clockwork, some of these kind of integral heroes. Let's go a different direction.
Yeah, calling the audible. That's what it feels like. Quap is certainly not known for her pushing prowess. Much more of like a fighter, mid-game assassin, I guess you could call her. It's where she really wants to shine, get that snowball rolling a bit. Crystal Maiden now for Power Rangers. Interesting picks on both sides of the coin. CM very good against Chen. Of course, Frostbite against the neutrals, or well, they're not quite neutrals once Chen takes him over, but still a very effective tool to deal with him there. And the Mana Aura, very good with the Shadow... really all of these heroes, Earthshaker, Brood, and Shadow Fiend, all have mana issues to some degree. Shadow Fiend, just in general, he would love to have more mana if that was an option. So just a good general accelerator for the whole team, I guess, and opens up some more options for the Brood to stay in lane a little longer, and the Earthshaker to have that many more fishes.
Maybe J4 just has the Arcana as well. Who knows?
That's true. That's true. We can't forget about the Year Beast. I mean, come on. Have some respect for the Year Beast. And the Arcanas. It's a pretty cool looking Arcana. It's okay. It's very particle-y.
Let's see the last pick here. NiP need their offlaner. I think their plan is going to be much more about the lanes now. So the Chen is going to be less about... I mean, obviously you've got the aspect where you can push down towers at some point, but early on he's going to look to help out in the Queen of Pain versus SF matchup, send a creep or two there, even look for a smoke gank early on. Then maybe around 10, 15 minutes in, that's when he'll go for that safe lane tower push with the Joe Rangers. So last pick for NiP is probably going to be their team fight type hero. Puck gets banned out, which is, I guess, a good initiator and obviously benefits from the Joe Aura. So it's going to be last pick Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, I guess Puck could have worked here. If they
great against Brood, by the way, Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, that's true. Give you that long range vision. I feel like they needed a melee hero, though. Somebody that can actually literally charge in and just be that front liner, sort of zone out the supports a little bit. I feel like the Puck would have just been a little too much of the same with all of the... They have plenty of ranged heroes that offer some sort of control, big damage on the Quap.
I was looking at it, I saw the Puck ban, I was like, I don't think that's really what they wanted. I think they wanted something that can be much more of a frontliner, like your Tide Hunter type hero.
They need a meat shield.
Spirit Breaker works pretty nicely. Not, I mean, highest EHP at level 1, but he's not tanky in the sense that he has spells that help keep him alive too well. I mean, Charge obviously is an escape, but it's not like you can man up with it. It's like you run away with it. Not like a Tide where you sit in the front with Kraken and Anchor Smash, or a Centaur who's just a bit beefier, but...
A good utility hero, though, in general here. Good against someone like Shadow Fiend mid, who can be pretty susceptible to those early ganks. If you're a little bit crafty with your charge routes, and, we've seen some Spirit Breakers wrap around from behind, come through the tree line, all sorts of different ways that you can come about, so the Shadow Fiend can't quite react as well as he would like. Mr. Centaur, Big Brad, he's going to be the final pick here for the Power Rangers, the Dit-Ya-Ra hero. Probably headed to that safe lane, looking to prioritize a nice fast blink dagger.
They couldn't get a third carry. It would be too greedy if they picked some actual kind of... Even like a Slug type hero would have been a bit too greedy with Brood. Brood's always going to farm a lot, and just by the nature of the hero having a lane as well as the whole enemy jungle when you're doing well, SF wants a lot of farm. So the last pick had to be that kind of initiator and that more utility type safe lane farmer. The Centaur, the Brewmaster, these kind of heroes. So a solid last pick.
Yep. Definitely agreed. I like this Power Rangers lineup, I have to say. I think there's definitely a chance this could be a 2-0 just based on draft alone. Of course, a lot of it will come down to execution, especially seeing Cheshire Cat on the Brood for one of the first times, at least recently. Seneko is indeed rocking the Arcana. Oh, look at all those particles. It's a dog. Look at it, Parker. Oh! Or it's a kitty, whatever it is. It's a beast of some sort. It's a funny-looking dog.
It's a little pup.
Guess that's what a dog looks like when it's covered in snow. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, the first blood. It worked for him last time. Our Power Ranger's going to find it again. It looks not. You know, what's Dota going to be like when every hero has an Arcana, Parker? Everyone's going to look like this. There's going to be particles everywhere. You're gonna have a newcomer watching Dota. They're going to be like, what is this, a disco party? What's going on here? One guy's on fire. One lady's got ice coming out of her shoes.
Dota 2 as a game is just very aesthetically pleasing, and this to me adds to it. Like CM as a hero, but like without the Arcana, yeah, it looks good. Like it makes Dota 2 look nice. But you look at this, and if you imagine you have 10 heroes with cool particles, with occasional pets going on, like
occasional pets going on. Just wait. Wait till Centaur has a baby Centaur that follows him around. Do you look forward to that day? The whole Centaur family in the trees.
Well.
Uh-oh. Jonas. Speaking of Centaurs, all right, he's gonna make it out. Looks like PR. They've statistically won, Parker. They got both bounty runes.
Damn.
Tap out. GG, well played.
66% chance of victory now.
Oh, boy. Well, Brood in the off lane. That puts QW in the mid, and then they will do a safe lane try. You got the CM and the Earthshaker here supporting the Ditya Ross Centaur. Dire side, Jonas will go off lane on the Spirit Breaker. Ape Mother takes the Quap mid, and then it will be the dual lane up top. Era and on the Dro, and Seal Kid on the Witch Doctor.
This could be a tough top lane for the two heroes for NiP, especially if Cheshire Cat gets the D-Ward off on this sentry. That's the only sentry that NiP have. But right off the bat, Cheshire Cat taking big damage. Forced out another one. This is a good start, though. This is what NiP need to do. And
pretty good start. He still is just trying to get a feel for where that ward is. Yes. And he's going to just kind of keep poking forward, test his limits, and see how far away he'll get poked. And here you go. Can he actually win the battle? He needs to get that ward down. He gets it, and now Cheshire Cat's life gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
At least until this Witch Doctor can afford another set of sentries, which might not be too far away if he can snag a CS here.
Yeah, that's top priority for NiP. Because the Chen used the other sentry to D-Ward the big camp, which was you need to do, but either Chen or the Witch Doctor needs to buy more sentries ASAP. Even before the Queen of Pain gets bottled. At this point, you go back, Queen of Pain, even if you have a bottle, we need these sentries. That's all that this comes down to.
Oh, Seal Kid getting harassed pretty hard. These little spiders look kind of funky. They look like little, what are those shells you find in the ocean where the little crabs keep having to find a bigger shell? What are those things called? Yeah, the conch shell things. The little, you know those little crabs you get as like a pet when you're in 2nd grade?
Is this the ESL spiderlings?
No, they're not. I think they're something different.
Skittering lotus.
You know what I'm talking about? What are those little things called? The little hermit crab. That's it. They're little hermit crabs.
Oh, yeah. They do look like they've got little...
Those little biscuits. Ooh. Spirit Breaker finds its way into a bounty rune. Snako comes in. That's a frostbite. That's a fissure block.
His charge has been cancelled.
Oh,
he's got it soon.
He's got another one. I think he's still good. All that EHP coming in handy here, but... Yeah.
And that's where, even at level 1, when he went for the bounty rune, they could have fissured him, frostbited him, chain stun with a hoof stomp, but he's got so much survivability with a stout shield and just his raw HP. Even after the chain stun, he's alive and he charges out. That's where Spirit Breaker is a good pick this game for the off lane, but he's unkillable, but at the same time, it's how much of a positive impact can he have for his team. Just staying alive is not going to be enough. He needs to find the kills, the setup on the Brood, the setup on the Shadow Fiend. He's got to do more than just stay alive and not feed.
Yeah, the problems with him this game are, one, he does absolutely nothing to slow down this Centaur. He is the last hit leader right now and will probably continue to be for the foreseeable future
they're
here.
Charging top. They got vision and they have sentries as well as dust. I think Brood can see Witch Doctor, will see that those items are up, and
Brood's also having a good time in this lane, though. He's got 8 CS already, and level 4. This is not a bad start for Cheshire Cat.
Spirit Breaker now.
There's the dust. It's been used. It will actually clip him. He's on the run. He'll make it back pretty close to the tower. If he's not okay, it's going to be close. Jonas diving the tower, taking a lot of shots here. Out come the frost arrows.
It wore off.
Oh, no. This is going to be a disaster. Jonas is in so deep. He's committed for this. Is he going to win the man fight against the Brood? No, he'll charge away.
Okay.
All right, they push the Brood back, but again, I feel like they just need to get more than that.
That's Brood's job right there. Take 3 heroes.
And not die.
Dust. Everything just... Oh, this is catastrophic, and I think he's going to get a kill on the Witch Doctor.
Seal Kid, the Seal Cub clubbing club is real. First blood's drawn as Cheshire Cat makes it happen, spawns some spiderlings, now bumps into Era and says, well, hello, pretty lady. I noticed you were tall and you're hungry for some spiders. Cheshire Cat, you dirty devil.
It's one of those things you can look at this and be like, this is why Brood... It's very you could make the comparisons like here, like techies. It just changes so much how you have to play.
QW, he's going to get charged. He's taking a lot of damage from that tomato. In comes the Space Cow. He's going to do some big damage here, but is it going to be enough for a kill? Looking for a deny. Come on, Thunder Hides. Not going to find it. Jonas gives him the lantern, secures the kill. But while we're looking at that in the mid, Cheshire, or pardon me, no, the Seneko, he has a haste rune, finds a kill on the Queen of Pain. So even when NiP get a kill, still can't really pull ahead as both mid laners did take a tumble.
Yeah. And Brood's got a big spiderling. I mean, this is a dead Seal Kid. The burst damage. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't even think NiP have executed poorly against the Brood. All the decisions they've made, like bringing out they brought out the additional sentries. Then they went for the kill with sentries, dust, and a charge. That was all, like, according to the plan, like, the how to deal with Brood. NiP did every little thing yet you're meant to do to deal with the Brood.
Era, he's going to get dove here. Spawn Spiderlings. They're going to be coming out as ours.
They just don't have the heroes for this because Cheshire Cat has played this so well.
This is scary. This is a snowball and Brood. He's level 6. Spirit Breaker is a whopping level 3. That is one of the bigger disparities we'll see. And then, of course, while that's going on, Ditya Ross just been free farming. Hey, we're 5 minutes in, and he's like 500 off a Blink Dagger. Last hit leader by he's doubling the Queen of Pain. I mean, the Chen is a little different. He's killing all these little babies in the jungle here. Chen also doesn't have any items. What happened to his items?
Neither does Witch Doctor. No boots, no nothing.
Okay, to be fair, there is a set of boots on the courier
for
here.
The Chen.
So
okay.
For the Chen has a little some, but already this tier 1 tower going down. Can't quite find the deny. This is disastrous.
And just going back to that initial charge gank, that was just the vision from the Spiderlings keeping me alive. The charge this time going to be on your CM, and Chen goes down before the things even begin. And
like a glove, he's going to get taken out. Seneko initiated on Quap, not level 6. If there was a scream there, the Sonic Wave, maybe that would have been a kill, but gonna have to let him walk away.
Charge is still going, though.
He's going. Come on, we're on the Jonas cam. He'll cancel it as he gets to the high ground. Has a couple Chen creeps nearby, so feeling a little bit brave. But they're gonna brand him and send him back to friendly territory. Brood going for a Midas.
Yeah, this is brutal. I don't know what you do. This is
5,000 gold deficit at 6.5 minutes.
Brood is the viable techies right now. You look at this and say this one pick just won this draft, and the game's still not over yet. NiP have their options. They can sit back, play defensively, try find some pickoffs. They've got the charge. If they can actually get the Brood killed a couple times with the Midas, Brood's going to be super high level and a really value kill. So
that's true. 4-0-0. There's already a decent streak to his name. Cheshire Cat just farming out the jungle, making this massive Spiderling army. They will find a charge. He's been revealed. Now stuck inside of the net. They will have a dust. In comes the cavalry, and ooh, they get the kill. All right, dominating streak goes the way of Chen. So the glove will find himself a nice little pick-me-up and gets a counter ward to boot. So baby steps here, Parker.
Yeah, kill the Brood a few times and farm some Spirelings, whatever it may be, but yeah, very much baby steps at this point. One kill is not going to cut it. Dichira, 2.7k gold. Is he not wanting to go Blink? Is he saying I want to go like a Midas here?
He's just thinking about his
Radiance
options.
Rush.
He's living the dream right now. He's just uncontested, massive farm. What's his GPM? Just force 27 GPM at 7 minutes just from straight farming.
And TP's mid with a Blink Dagger. Ape Mother not going to go down, though, because it is about to be 8 minutes, which means he's going to be looking for a room, which is where maybe not the best timing to go for that TP mid, but Ape Mother will...
but on the other side, Seal Kid and Handskin perhaps in some trouble here. The cast bouncing around, doing some work. J4 getting charged, but there's your Stampede. All heal from Chen to pick up NiP. In comes the Space Cow, not even going to need it. Now switches to QW. The ult from Quap doing a lot of damage here. Actually gets the kill onto the cow, and now they find the kill on the Shadow Fiend. It's a 1 for 3, make it a 4 for 1. Oh my gosh.
CM did get the deny to Roshan, but NiP are like, sweet, that's actually a good idea. Let's take Roshan.
That is the beginning of a potential turn here. That's almost a 2,000 net worth change with Roche. It will be 6-6.
Is causing problems up top, but that was still a huge victory for NiP. A few things just went horribly wrong there. Centaur doesn't have the mana for Stampede, Hoof Stomp, and TP. Because he TP'd mid, so once he TP's mid, he doesn't actually have the mana.
See, this is, you actually see this sometimes, where someone is free farming and like they get the blink so fast, they bite off more than they can chew. It's like, oh right, I don't have any other stats items except this one GG branch.
I mean, normally it's okay, but because he TP'd mid and had been using some mana at bottom lane, maybe.
Oh, he misses the Hoof Stomp onto Jonas. Oh no, the cow's gonna walk away.
Suddenly, this game is approaching back to even. That was like a 6k gold lead at 7 to 8 minutes in. That was almost like 1k gold per minute going the way of PR. And
NiP have bust this game wide open. They are right back in it. The gold deficit now very manageable, about 2,000, and XP is completely zeroed out. Now the Dro has herself an Aegis of the Immortal. The road to recovery begins here. Out come the power treads, the Ring of Aquila, getting some of those base Agi items. Things are shaping up here for Era.
Dire's bottom tower is under
There is
attack.
still the underlying problem, though, of how do you really deal with this Brood? With this super fast Midas, I mean, this farm is still very impressive. 5.2k net worth at 10 minutes is a bit scary. Ooh, another sentry.
See what Cheshire Cat looks to do. There's a lot of here. Probably looking for a Spirit Breaker charge. Yeah, he's at the tier 1 bottom tower, and I imagine he's looking top. As soon as you get any vision of this Brood, charge will go, and they'll look for a kill using the charge to track Brood's movement.
Smoke rotation into the Dire jungle. Stampede used the glove. Gonna get stomped all over. They're gonna kill his Centaur army as well. Or are they? J4 taking a lot of damage. Seneko channels the ultimate, but not for very long. J4 goes down. Quap ends up getting denied to a neutral. Now the Death Lord flies out. A lot of damage onto Seneko. He'll live for now, at least until the charge commences. Cheshire Cat wraps around, finds the kill on Chen, and now looking to make the exodus. Seneko will die to the negative urn. Down he goes. Jonas with a dust. Gets the nether strike on the Cheshire Cat again. It's NiP coming out ahead. A 2-for-3 trade. They'll take it. That's for damn sure. Oh, down bottom. QW channels the Requiem all over that Dro. Gets the tower and burns the Aegis. Wow, that was a nice heads-up play. Saw that one coming.
That was solid. I guess that's what you get an Aegis for. I don't think that's terrible use. End of the day, if you're using the Aegis in a team fight, a hero like a Dro, more than likely it just instantly die twice. Super squishy, has no items at all, just Wraith Bands and Treads, so I think it's fine that you use the Aegis like that because he wanted to go bottom lane to farm. It forces the SF back. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the tower tonight, which is kind of what he was going to maybe rotating in for.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I think a very worth it exchange if you get the deny there, but Shadow Fiend also didn't get the last hit, so
it's a win for the Shadow Fiend, but it's not like Dro Ranger lost the losing the Aegis is a big deal for NiP.
Yeah, it was at about half duration. Like you said, only so much that you'd really want to achieve with it. So, anyhow, looking at the graph, things kind of holding steady. NiP actually taking the gold edge. They are not out of the clear yet. They are bringing this game back. It's not going to be another 15-minute rollover, as it seemed like it could have been a few minutes ago.
Just the XP edge. The gold is...
Yeah, the XP edge, okay. Yeah. So, gold still holding steady, but, I mean, that's still pretty significant, all things considered. Chen
Smoke gang
coming online a little bit. Yeah, here's the smoke rotation. Net onto J4. Silence to get things started. Seneko will get charged. It looks like that's the target that they'll go for. They'll isolate him near the tier 1 tower. No ultimate for the CM, nice, but oh boy, Seal Kid taking a lot of damage. All right, they'll all live for now. Dityara now on the defensive. Out comes the all-heal from Chen. The charge past the tower. They get the kill on the Centaur. Now they find QW. The net, the blink forward, and it's 8-Mother that secures this one. A 2-for-0 in the mid as NiP crank up the aggression.
This has just been good movement around the map, and this is how you play when you're behind and you've had a terrible early game against a Brood. You kind of just give up a little bit to try and look for bigger victories. Say, okay, we're going to let the Brood take a tier 2 tower top. Let the Brood push this top lane, whatever it may be, but we'll make up for it elsewhere.
Yeah. Charge is a ranged creep here, so just going to charge in and try to clear out the creep wave. Brood did get that tier 2 tower, though. They'll do a good bit of damage to the tier 2 mid, but not a bad trade for Power Rangers in terms of towers. Obviously, the 2-for-0 does help out NiP that much more.
Another death on the Shadow Fiend, too. He's not going for the mech right off the bat. He's going for Midas and looking to kind of secure the late game in some ways.
Yeah, PR just getting a little greedy with this. Maybe underestimating NiP's potency at this stage once they group up and get that 5-man going.
Dityara's also not played a very good game with the Centaur. And normally he's like the stand-up player of this team, and he's made a few bad calls of when to initiate, how to use his mana, and paid the price a few times.
Oh my, Seneko just blown up by the Chen. Hanskin doing so much damage. Radiant's Courier also getting picked off with a decent bit of gold on it.
That was
That's a
the
Midas recipe. Oh, my God. That is one of the best things that you can hope for in terms of a courier snipe, because that is slowing down farming time by QW. That's like 2 uses of the Midas out the window.
Well, NiP have this SF kind of trapped underneath this bottom tier 1. He's just hiding and hoping he doesn't get caught out here. And seems NiP don't know he's there. Maybe they do. The Midas was headed towards that bottom lane, so they can kind of suspect the SF was down there, but end of the day, they assume he maybe TP'd out.
Yeah, so they will claim this tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Dityara initiated on. He'll try to stampede away. There's another strike and a cow in the way. And, yep, Centaur going to take another tumble. Brood, meanwhile, just farming away in the dire jungle. He does have Necronomicon level 2 completed. We'll need to use that courier, but is continuing to grab those pushing items. NiP have just taken this game over. They actually have the gold lead now and are getting a lot of momentum.
Just 2 different teams. Like NiP, just their mid-game team play has been amazing. And it's like PR last game. It was their decision-making and their team coordination with some fantastic ganks from Cheshire Cat with the blink lassos into Slytherin crashes from the Slatter TPing in. This game around, it's just poor initiations in general. And that's where I feel the draft's fine, but it's just maybe Dityara not used to playing that initiate-type role, and Cheshire Cat has done perfect on the Brood, but he almost needs to be more on these initiators, it feels like. Not to fault his Brood by any means. He's played perfectly on the Brood.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the Centaur has been one of the weaker aspects of this PR draft, just in terms of his general initiations. Cheshire Cat up top, going to find himself in a rough situation here. Gets knocked to the low ground, but will be dusted. In comes the Quap Death Ward from the high ground. It's another kill going the way of Team NiP. Now in the bottom, they will get aggressive onto Seneko. Era doing some damage, laying in the frost arrows. Dityara hops forward, pump fakes the stun. Still alive for now. Stun on 2. Out comes the freezing field. They get the kill onto Handskin. Now they find it onto the Dro as well. Nice turnaround. The CM lives with just a handful of hit points. Beautiful setup to make that one happen. But now the charge. Dityara. He's got a stampede. Does he burn it here? Trying to time the hoof stomp. Can't get it. And Jonas playing the cleanup. Now back to the lane. Shadow Fiend squaring up against Seal Kid. And he's not going to like the way this one ends up. Or will he? Gets the kill there. Now squaring off against Ape Mother. He will have a screen in just 1 second here. QW almost gets it with the last raise. Very low on HP.
Trees. He could get charged or ultied soon.
Oh, he's got the negative earn on now. Quap wants to make it happen. QW pump faking a little bit. Trying to anticipate the blink. Almost gets it. But Jonas gets the unstoppable streak as he brings him down.
Nice play by Shadow Fiend there, overall. Just keeping the Queen... Man-fighting that Queen of Pain so well, and I guess Ape Mother and Jonas will get out of there safely, but SF made the most out of that little bit of HP he had left.
Quap going for an Aghanim Scepter, about 500 gold off the Blade of Alacrity now. She doubles up a double damage, or bottles up a double damage rune. So that's good news for her. Really starting to come online. We'll have the super low cooldown ultimate at her disposal. Brood, level 3 Necronomicon online here, David Parker. Let the pushing commence.
Okay, tier 1 tower mid does not have a glyph to protect it, and
it's got a double damage Quap to protect it, though. It might be better than a glyph in some regards.
Possibly some easy Necrobook farm coming the way of NiP.
Yeah, Cheshire Cat maybe thinking about a play here if that last will damage goes out onto a hero. Okay, it will not.
If one of those things, you're a DD Quap, you've got full HP, you maybe consider it, but...
Yeah. Well, if Seal Kid accidentally last hit that, I think the Brood goes in for a kill.
I think all you need is one nuke, spawn Spiderling nuke, and it's almost just instantly dead with that. But
yeah, last will damage is pretty serious. Cheshire Cat initiated on now, caught inside of the net. There's going to be a shockwave to follow up. Plenty of follow-up damage here. There's also a dust fissure. Buys him the space he needs. Is it enough, though? The frost arrow barely clips him. Cheshire Cat's still alive, but the spider will be put to rest. They're not done yet, though. CM on the run as the shockwave flies through. Will just settle down as 1-0. Another pick-off for NiP, furthering their gold lead that much more.
Man, they're looking really good here all of a sudden in the mid-game. And this is definitely where their lineup's meant to shine with all the bonus damage they get across the board with the Drawer. And
especially the way they've itemized, too, with the Quap Ags and the mech on Chen, even just the drums on Jonas. Very mid-game oriented.
Jonas's Spirit Breaker has been kind of the deciding factor to get them back in this game as well.
Like 6-0-3 on the Space Cow.
It's been very impressive. I was also going to say, Hanskin's Chen has been... I was really worried about what Chen was going to be able to do this game. Like, he didn't seem to be offering too much, but then even after not having much of an impact in the laning stage, he was the one leading the smoke ganks, finding these big team fights and kills and pickoffs, and just really good movement around the map from Hanskin's Chen.
Roshan number 2 about to be underway. Looking at Radiant Vision. They do have a ward down. I believe they saw them just walk into the pit here. Will they try to contest it is a completely different story. Meanwhile, in the top lane, QW squaring off against Jonas. They're going to turn this one around. There's a fissure there. He manages to get off the Requiem, and that's going to be a big kill for the Radiant. Now, can they actually do something about this Roshan? That's going to be a resounding no.
That's a worthwhile trade though for PR at this point. They're not really have the creep equilibrium to try and get a Roshan contest. Ichira, mid Stampede TP, and tower will get denied, but still it's an access point. You take it out and you get big kill in the Spirit Breaker. You take out the T1 mid tower, and even with the Aegis on Era's hands, you're not too concerned about NiP breaking high ground with this. I don't think you've got decent high ground defense with the Earthshaker, the SF, and Brood just split pushing. So I think in general they can handle a 5-man push from NiP at this stage.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Also, J4's Blink only 200 away.
Oh, that's actually very helpful. For NiP, they do have the issue here of trying to break high ground against this PR lineup will be difficult. Shadow Fiend and Earthshaker very good at holding those access points, and even the Centaur CM Brood, pretty decent heroes at that, just in general, catching someone if they step a bit too far forward. Freezing Field in some little cheeky area behind a tree can definitely catch folks unaware. Given that recent buff, that area is absolutely massive. So we'll see. Turning into a very interesting mid-game here. NiP hanging on to a small golden experience lead, but nothing insurmountable for Power Rangers right now. One Tier 1 tower remains in this top lane, and it looks like NiP may be gearing up for a push off the backside of this Aegis. SNY out on the Dro Ranger. Era ready to get a little bit aggressive.
Yeah. Tier 1 top, possibly even the Tier 2 as well, may just go uncontested here with QW in the SF mid lane. You got the Brood kind of putting a bit of pressure on bottom lane, but also going to be constantly worried about getting charged. Just a charge with one hero TPing in is probably his death, so he doesn't want to really show his hero too much on the map.
Yeah. Mid lane, thinking about a go on Jonas. There it is. Dityara to start things off. Frostbite follow-up. Even a Freezing Field deployed to make sure Jonas can't charge away to safety. Nice little pick off there. Meanwhile, in the top lane, though, NiP continuing to put the pressure on. TP in from the Shadow Friend. He will cancel it after baiting out the Gust from Era. And now the rotations commence. Seal Kid gets a ward down, and it won't cost him. Shadow Fiend. QW. Walking into the danger zone. They're not going to be able to punish it quite yet. He finds Hanskin. Shadow Rays is coming out. Stampede forward. Dityara will secure the kill. Meanwhile, in the lane, Seal Kid looking to TP home. Not going to be successful on that front. Decides just to stand his ground. Channels the ultimate and takes a dunk to the face. As Power Rangers get a clean team fight. A 3-0 across the map if you count the Spirit Breaker, and regaining some of that lost footing.
They took out the entire Chen creep army. They dewarded the high ground. They're in a much nicer position after that fight, PR, and their late game's looking pretty good. Shadow Fiend hasn't gone for that early game-centric mech build. He's gone straight into BKB. He's now hasn't picked up anything crazy since getting the BKB, but
I feel like the hard part for Power Rangers is coming towards the tail end, where they went double Midas, that mid-game timing when NiP is kind of reaching one of their peaks, and you're also heavily invested in your farming tools.
Jonas.
That was a bit of a YOLO charge if I've ever seen one. Not sure what the plan was there exactly, but yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, well, freebie going the way of QW, but I feel like that window of really difficult times for PR is kind of over now. Their farming tools have started to pay off. That's a 10-second BKB ready to rock and roll, and Brood still continuing to find pretty solid farm now with BOTs up, ready to move around the map and wreak havoc in lots of different areas. Bumps right into Era, ends up getting silenced. 8 Mother does miss the scream. And, Era might need to be a little bit careful here. He'll be all right for now. Meanwhile, in the dire jungle, Hanskin initiated on. They'll go ahead and use the Stampede. QW with the double damage blocked out by his own team's Fissure. But it doesn't matter. Still find the kill as the Centaur rotates over. The hammer gets dropped, and whoa, more initiation. Seal Kid running in. Quite brave he is. And that bravery will cost him everything and anything. Era, now low on mana, compliments of these Necronomicon units. Standing his ground as best he can. Does have the Aegis the Immortal still.
If he's not careful.
Jonas comes charging on in. Around the backside. Aegis goes down. Sonic Wave flies through. Uh-oh, QW off to the side. That's a one-shot KO onto the Dro Ranger. Oh, boy, this Shadow Fiend. He knows his limits here, Parker. He's going to pick up a triple kill and another disastrous fight for the ninjas in pajamas.
They should have just cut their losses at the Chen. They tried to go in with the Witch Doctor. Then the Dro's like, I got an Aegis, I can fight, but Aegis against an SF, that's an easy 2 kills. Once you die that first time, he just gets the free Requiem of Souls off if you can time it well. That is not an easy thing to time as well, because you've got to be pixel perfect with the gust that can come out after the respawn from Aegis to cancel the Requiem. So really nicely timed by QW.
Yeah, nicely executed just in general. Looking at this graph, things scooting right back in favor of the Radiant, taking the XP edge as well as they claim the Tier 2 tower mid. Only one outer tower remaining for both sides. They're off lane Tier 2s as PR just looking scary here as we're moving into the latter portion of this mid game.
Yeah, they pull themselves ahead this time around, and for NiP, they've had access to Roshan. They've had kind of the ability to move around the map a lot better. That's going to get much more difficult now. I think taking Roshan is not going to be as easy as it's been for the first 2 times, and PR just in a really good shape. Dichira's going to have a BKB soon, and the big item pickup for him was the Blade Mail, because he kept initiating in and kind of just getting focused down very quickly when he first got the Blink Dagger. He died like 3 or 4 times in quick succession, but this Blade Mail has really done a nice job to keep him alive, also help out with some of his mana problems, and Dichira's kind of really recovered since starting things like 1 and 4.
Yeah. 8 Mother now has a BKB of his own on this Queen of Pain, also finding level 16, so that upgraded Sonic Wave, doing a lot of pure damage. Is it enough, though, is really the question. PR are going to continue with the aggression. They've got a few heroes down bottom, everyone else rotating to rendezvous. Looks like they want to claim this tower sooner rather than later.
Yep.
But smoke from NiP. They're not going to let it go without a fight.
Risky time. Dro Ranger is with them and doesn't have that next item yet, which is probably going to be a BKB, but they're going to start things off with a charge.
And charge in onto QW. He'll start in the front lines and around the backside. Seneco's going to be the one initiated on QW. It's going to be all right for now. Looks like he blinked out. And who's actually going to be initiated on first? It's going to be Seal Kid. He survives. Quap with a decent ulti will bring down QW out of the gate. They'll have to trade their Chen for it, though. Death Ward channel for pretty close to full duration. Huge damage coming out as it's a 1 for 3. NiP taking the fight as Dityara gets locked down as well. I think that was all the Witch Doctor there for the most part. It was a great Sonic Wave, but Seal Kid surviving the initial onslaught, then also getting a full Death Ward.
He baited them really well. SF just using his BKB a bit too early, and they kited that SF so nicely as well. Like the charge just forced his blink back, then they knew where he was. He kind of blinked into PR, and then he's like, oh, that's a Queen of Pain, and the smoke can come at me. I got a BKB, and then then NiP just going to back off a little bit, reposition, and don't let the SF let him get off on a Requiem of Souls at all. Then they only focus him when they use the Nether Strike and know that he's not going to get a Requiem off.
Yeah, very nicely done by NiP in general. That'll kind of level this game out once more as both Golden XP look towards that 0-0 mark. We'll see what the Roche timer looks like here in just a couple of seconds. Oh, Jonas charging onto J4 mid and going to choose to disengage. Heaven's Halberd is out on the SB, not going the S&Y route as we've seen be pretty popular. Instead, getting a little EHP going on here. And
he may be staying too long here.
Yep. Oh, there's the dunk from J4. Stampede going to make that an easy initiation. He does have a Charge of Darkness. Can they lock him down? They cannot.
They know where he's going, and Brute is
bottom
nearby.
Okay, cancels the charge a little early. Jonas being a little crafty here. Will still get scouted out by the Cheshire Cat. Does he have the power for the kill? And it looks like he does. Insatiable Hunger going to make it very easy.
There's another charge. But
Oh my gosh, he might actually live here. Jonas, the great escape.
Fissure. Got him.
All right.
Just barely clips it. That was
close call. Trying to join his friends up in the top lane. They'll get the tier 2 tower kill. That is the end of the outer towers here for the Power Rangers.
Dead even game, though, at this point. This is really interesting how things are going to progress from here. I don't feel like either team has a clear late game edge. PR have some good initiation and teamfight options with Centaur and Earthshaker, but looking at the carries, Dro Quap versus SF Brood,
I think the key difference is initiation in this matchup. I think on paper they have a pretty comparable amount of hard carry power, but for NiP, positioning is just so much more important. Quap and Dro Ranger in particular, if they can get the fight to sort of unfold the way they want, it's an easy fight, but if they're the ones getting initiated on, I don't think they can take just a straight-up 5v5 engagement. Sort of like PR have the finesse advantage, and they can sort of face rush and still take a good fight. NiP have to be a little more tactful. Like that smoke rotation for that last fight, I think is going to be the name of the game for them to continue finding victories here.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Witch Doctor now has an Ag Scepter, so speaking of late game, there's another big tool for NiP. Turning one of their supports into pretty much having the impact of a core hero. The Earthshaker does have a Blink Echo Slam, but we haven't seen too much out of J4 as far as his Blink initiations go.
Big damage that also goes through BKB. That's one of the big things here, is having tools to deal with QW. A lot of Shadow Fiends, you sort of feel like you get a BKB and you're somewhat immortal, and that can be true, but in a game like this, they have a lot that goes right through that magic immunity, your Nether Strike, your Death Ward, Sonic Wave, plenty of physical / pure damage to go around.
And next, Roshan, NiP, after winning that bottom fight, actually got back some decent map control. And
so it has been scouted out, though. Spiderlings are in the pit, and they know that NiP have made a movement here. This is Roche 3.
I don't think they can get here in time.
More
smoke from the top lane, but they got to get here fast. And
at least they have the intel, though. Spiderlings on the high ground. This is Radiant Vision we're looking at. They see Roche at about half health.
They need to stall with these Spiderlings, like create a distraction.
They've done that. I mean, they're going to make it here in time. There you go. QO, BKB channels the Requiem from afar. Roche still alive for now. The all-heal from Chen isn't going to be enough. Cheshire Cat trying to focus down Henskin off to the side. He'll be successful on that front. Era uses his BKB as he tries to make the escape. Witch Doctor gets locked down, and it looks to be successful for PR. The Shadow Fiend falls, but the closing Requiem will help with some extra damage. Now the charge up to the high ground to try and deal with Seneko. It'll be safe for now. They have to pay with their Earthshaker, and not going to have the vision to bring down Jonas.
Game-winning gust, well, not game-winning, but a huge gust from Era, who is going to die at the bottom tier 2 tower now with the Brood, unfortunately, but Brood is actually going to cause even more problems here. The dust comes out, and Spirit Breaker will win that man fight with the nurse slow. Oh, no. And Jonas, one more right-click. It's enough. That CM blinked to the high ground and was using the freezing field, was looking to use a freezing field from the high ground, but the gust from the Drow Ranger cancelled it and saved that team fight for NiP, but who even won that fight? 4 for 3, gold advantage went PR's way.
Well, because PR ended up taking Roche, I think you have to give them credit for the victory in the fight. But it was a pretty good hold for NiP. Pretty damn close. Witch Doctor's ulti, I think, got canceled pretty early on as well. I know he used it, but didn't really get too many big bounces. So both teams were pretty on point with trying to cripple each other's big damage output.
Yep. Even the SF used his Requiem very early just because he knew that if he tried to get it in like a middle fight, he's going to get cancelled by the Nether Strike or something. So he just used it from afar to get them the minus damage out.
And it seemed to work pretty well. That's if you can sort of gauged how much damage he would take in that fight, and the Requiem stayed up for at least a pretty good duration. Had the initial 5, and then even that second death did help with the damage reduction.
I think NiP, like at least the initial fight was won by NiP. The problem was Brood was still alive, and Brood just such good sustain, such a good cleanup with the ability to chase over trees, and also just heal back up with the insatiable hunger. So
and just having Necro Books. I mean, that secured 1 kill and almost secured the kill on the Spirit Breaker, even though it was the Urn that actually got the last hit. Wow, lots of halberds here, 1 on each side, the Centaur and the Spirit Breaker here. QW going for some evasion of his own, has the Talisman, probably a butterfly on him, but evasion to go around aplenty. Smoke now from the Power Rangers. Looking for blood. J4 leading the charge. Wow, full butterfly on this Shadow Fiend. Really glad that he got the Midas here. I'm sure QW is thinking to himself, both him and Brood, having that farming tool has really helped them stay in this game and secure their seats atop the net worth chart.
We'll see how things unfold from here. If someone like a CM can farm a BKB, it'll be really nice for these team fights, because Spirit Breaker doesn't want to use a Nether Strike on a CM who's using... at that point, with a freezing field BKB, you kind of need to.
Oh, Cheshire Cat tries the TP home. They've got a gem on 8 Mother. Jonas comes charging in, will interrupt the TP, and that's an unstoppable streak for the 8 Mother. Nice gank there in the Radiant Jungle for NiP. Really handling this Brood quite well. Smart choice to pick up the gem, and Really just caught the Brood unaware there. I don't think it was revealed before that.
Even though Brood is one of your top net worth heroes, having these kind of items, Boots of Travel, Necro 3, Midas, you're not really seeing Brood as like a carry threat. That's, I guess, much more the Shadow Fiend, who does have this Butterfly. He's looking to flank here, but no money for a buyback. This is a risky time for PR.
Yeah, now he does have BKB cheese, though, so still feeling pretty safe. Jonas thinking about charging on in, just channels the Nether Strike early onto QW. Requiem will get channeled. J4 comes in. Big dunk, big fissure. They get a quick kill on the Dro. Alvio comes out, but Seal Kid will fall to the right clicks of QW. A lot of damage comes out in return onto the Radiant side, but PR still going to take this fight, it looks like. 3 for 3, make it a 3 for 4. Ultra kill for QW. Even though it's a 3 for 4 trade, Shadow Fiend getting a lot out of that exchange.
That Earthshaker did a really nice play there, blocking the follow-up from the Spirit Breaker. Spirit Breaker's like, okay, this SF, he may not, I don't know if he knew that he didn't have buyback, but SF kind of got caught out in front by the Nether Strike, but there was no follow-up. The Earthshaker initiated on the backline, hitting them with fissures and stuns, and then Spirit Breaker gets blown up by just the full damage Requiem. That was so well executed by PR, and Jonas just maybe definitely too aggressive in hindsight, but at the time, maybe just a bit too much tunnel vision going for that SF kill.
Yeah, it was actually a 2 for 4. The Brood had already died from that little skirmish we saw moments prior. So that was actually a 4 versus 5. And still PR coming out that far ahead, trading at 2 for 4.
I think that's where Jonas was like, oh, if we get this SF, suddenly there's no Brood and no SF, or SF has to buy back, and we're in a really good shape to take rack. So that's where that's kind of like the decision going into that. But
I feel like you can't afford to start off a fight with the Nether Strike like that. You have to save it to either interrupt that first Requiem channel or just to lock him down like while he's in that BKB, and you like that is valuable lockdown that you can't afford to just kind of throw away as an opener when you have all this other damage.
The other big thing is Jonas not having a BKB. If he has a BKB there, he doesn't get frostbitten into Requiem, and maybe it's a play you can make there.
Seal Kid walks right into the danger zone. Sonic Wave will clear out some spiders, but doesn't do any damage outside of that. QW trying to channel the Requiem will get interrupted this go around, but still has the cooldown available. They're going to press forward. They now find the kill on 8 Mother. He'll buy back straight away, but it won't be enough to save Handskin. Seal Kid channeling the ultimate from, well, close range. Ditya Ra walks up, gives him the hoof stomp. That'll stop him dead in his tracks. Freezing Field now doing so much damage. Gets the kill on the Spirit Breaker, and NiP all of a sudden on the back foot, getting dove to the tier 4s. Blink forward from Seneko. Era caught inside of the stun, and now he'll be brought down. Oh, no. No buyback available for him. Quap's the only one that is bought back. No, that was actually a dieback on the Witch Doctor as well. Yeah. Is this the GG push all of a sudden?
I think this is it. The Sonic Wave's going to come out, but they're going to lose 8 Mother.
Oh, that's a dieback. Seneko with those fast fingers on the blink. GG is called. It was such an even game until then. Then all of a sudden, NiP just get caught a little bit unaware, not quite ready for it. And the whole game just implodes like that.
One pickoff turns into a couple more. Witch Doctor got the Ag Scepter, but PR just dealt with that Witch Doctor so well every fight. We didn't see a good death ward really.
There was that one at the tier 1 in the bottom lane where he got they initiated on him, he barely survived and had like a full duration death ward the entire fight. That was the one time they didn't, I don't know if that was a miscommunication, thinking someone else would finish him off perhaps before he could ulti, but outside of that, they had his number, especially after that fight. Do not let him channel that ulti.
He got like a decently channeled ulti even in that push where the SF blew up the Spirit Breaker under the tier 3 tower. He got a decent duration one, but SF had Butterfly. SF was right-clicking a full HP Witch Doctor and just survived the Death Ward because he's like got evasion, he is tanky. I mean, I think Witch Doctor played decently and got like farmed up well there, but PR just bit better execution, and you could see it there in game 2. Especially once in a closer game. Game 1 much more one-sided, but this one they were really tested.
This one was very topsy-turvy. I mean, it started out with Power Rangers dominating, and then they kind of threw it away, and NiP came striking back. They had all that mid-game momentum, and then they kind of threw it away, and then there was that tug of war until Shadow Fiend just hit that critical mass. That last fight, that was the 2 for 4 trade, obvious advantage for PR, but Shadow Fiend getting all 4 of those kills, and some of them being like 2 heroes splitting the experience. He was just so massive after that.
And QW, I mean, the stand-in, as far as this series go, he was one of the big MVPs. He played really, really well. But to me, the most impressive play has been Cheshire Cat. Game 1, it was the Bat Rider where he just wrecked face. Yeah. He was the reason they snowballed. Game 2, his Brood was just incredible. Like, the comeback happened, but at no point did that happen because of the Brood. Even when he got picked off once or twice, that wasn't what caused the 3-4K gold swings. It was the kind of team fights where NiP got 3 or 4 kills. I think as far as the Brood play went, this was like as good a Brood as you'll ever see.
Especially in that initial laning phase, so much space curation. Survived that first gank attempt. That opened up all the farm for Ditya Ra. Not the best performance we've seen out of a Ditya Ra Centaur. He certainly played better. As you mentioned, probably just not the style he's as comfortable with.
Yeah.
He likes to play those Slark kind of low cooldown initiators, hop in, hop out. Centaur, you got to be a little more tactful. You can blink in, do some damage, but then after that, you know, your tools for retreat are a little more limited. So, looking good for PR. They secure themselves a spot in the grand finals. How exciting for them! Now just one series away from qualifying for the big kahuna, the Esportal Dota 2 League.
They'll have tonight to rest and prepare for either Asus Polar or Team Alliance, who's going to be the other semi-final match coming up next. And bit of an upset there. I mean, the Dota 2 lounge odds especially were very skewed towards NiP, and both of us were saying, yeah, NiP should win this. It could be a close series. The second one more likely to be one-sided, but this was
super
PR 2-0. Game 1 especially. Game 2, NiP put up a really good fight, but I've got to say, NiP back to the drawing board now.
Yeah, so a very quick opening best of 3. Our next one is scheduled to start in about 2 hours' time, if my math is not completely terrible today.
Okay.
So, yeah, about that break. I don't know if we're going to have a dance party here or we're going to do something entertaining. Maybe the other series will start early. It's kind of 50-50. If the teams are available, the admins are happy to start it early, but teams have schedules. You know, you don't rely on, you know, a best of 3 ending in an hour.